I like to change the flowers around just to get a little bit of color that goes with my apron. I go to either Hobby Lobby, Walmart, Michael's, wherever, Joann's. I try and keep the fall flowers and greenery in one box and the spring and summer in another. And then I mix them around. And I look at my apron and I'll say, well, I need a little bit more orange, a little more green. And you know, when you've got these flowers mixed together, everything always looks nice. It doesn't matter. They all look good, I think. And I made a beautiful one to put next to my mailbox. And that one looks so nice. And I put some of that fountain grass in the middle and then a bunch of different flowers and greenery around it. And then I put it right next to my mailbox. Really nice. Not a big deal. Very easy, but it's just enough to change it around a little bit. Stick that little one in there. I'll put this leaf. This is just one leaf like this, but I like to hang it right there and it just looks so pretty hung like that. I mean, I'm not a professional or anything, but just do the best I can. What do you think? Let me know. Send me a comment and tell me what you think. Does it go with my apron? A little. So when your friends or family come over, they get to see, you know, a splash of fall in your house. So here it is. I think I'm going to leave it just like that. Now we can get started. Hi everybody, welcome back to my outdoor kitchen. I've got a fantastic recipe for you today. I'm going to be making meatloaf, macaroni and cheese, all together in one dish. Super easy and delicious, real creamy. This is one of my favorite dishes because I love creamy food. Now before I get started with my meatloaf, I'm going to spray my dish just lightly with some nonstick spray. And I've got some water boiling right here because I'm going to add my 2.5 cups of macaroni. I'm going to add some salt. There we go. And I've got 2.5 cups of large macaroni. And I'm going to time it and let it cook. Then I'm going to drain it and I'm going to set it aside. Now I'm going to cook them until they're a little firm. You want to follow the directions on the back of the package. You don't want to overcook them because you don't want them to fall apart. Now we can move on to the meatloaf. I've got 2 pounds of 85-15 ground beef. Now you don't want to use 80-20 because it'll be too greasy, but I think 85-15 is good. And I've got 2/3 cup of panko breadcrumbs. I have 1 celery rib that I cut up into small little pieces so the grandkids can't find it. I've got 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. That's going to make it delicious. 1 teaspoon of paprika. 1 teaspoon of my favorite all-around seasoning. You can use your favorite seasoning salt. 1 teaspoon of onion powder. And I have 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You can put as much salt as you want. I think 1/2 teaspoon is good. I don't want it to be too salty. And 1 teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper. And I've got 2 large eggs. I'm gonna break 1 egg here. And here's another egg. Now the eggs is what's gonna keep everything together real nicely. It keeps it together. And I have 1/2 cup of finely chopped onions. Now with very clean hands, I'm gonna bring everything in together. This is just the easiest way to do it. So now I'm just gonna bring everything in together, and you don't wanna overwork the meat because if you overwork it, then it's gonna be real tough like Spam. You don't want that. But you do wanna work it enough to where you incorporate all the ingredients. Now this would be a good time for you to preheat your oven. Mine is preheated to 375 degrees. So I have everything incorporated really well without overworking the meat. My dish is ready. This is a 9 by 13. And now I'm gonna put the meat in here. like this. And then you want to push it down in place without pushing it down real hard. You know, just be gentle with it like that. See, just like this. Oh man, this is comfort food at its best. Growing up, my mom would make meatloaf and she would make a delicious meatloaf. And when we knew that she was gonna make meatloaf, we would get so excited. I loved it with mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese on the side. Anything you want. As long as you have the meatloaf and mashed potatoes, I think you're gonna be just fine. It just works beautifully. Now this is gonna shrink down just a little bit because once the time is up, I will remove it out of the oven and I will drain it. So I pushed it down gently without pushing it too hard because I don't want it to get tough. Now I have 1/3 cup of ketchup. I'm gonna put some ketchup right on top. Now I like to make a special ketchup mixture when I make meatloaf, but this is not gonna take too much of that on top because I am gonna put the macaroni on top and then I don't want it to get all messed up. I'm gonna wash my hands really quick before I take it to the oven. And we got this done. Now my oven is preheated, 375 degrees. I'm gonna put it right on the center rack, anywhere between 20 and 25 minutes. You wanna make sure that your meatloaf is well cooked. So I drained my macaroni. Now I'm gonna prepare my roux. And I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna move the butter around until it melts. Now the roux will add that delicious flavor to your mac and cheese. So my butter is melted. I'm gonna add my flour, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, equal amounts. And I'm gonna move it around until it gets real nice and smooth. And you wanna make sure that your roux is a beautiful golden blonde. Take about 2.5 minutes or so. So my roux is a beautiful golden blonde. Now I'm going to add my milk slowly, a little bit at a time. And I've got 2.5 cups. And this is whole milk. Now you want to be adding it and whisking because you want it nice and smooth, real creamy. So I've added all my milk. Now I'm just going to continue whisking because I want it to get thick and I want it real nice and smooth. And this will take about 5 minutes. So my roux is nice and thick, just perfect. I'm gonna turn off the heat and I'm gonna slide it over here away from the heat because I'm ready to add the cheese. I've got 2.5 cups of American cheese and this is freshly grated. And I have 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese, freshly grated. I love American cheese, but you can use your favorite cheese. I'm gonna slowly add the cheese so it'll start melting. A little bit at a time. And continue whisking. Now, when I was growing up, we always had homemade mac and cheese. And that's because my mom worked at the high school cafeteria and they made it, you know, homemade there. And she knew the recipe, so that's how she made it. But I know not everybody does. But it's a very easy recipe. Now I'm going to add my Parmesan cheese. You want to make sure that everything is very well incorporated. So I've added all my Parmesan cheese and it's starting to get real nice and smooth. I'm gonna add 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. This will give it a nice little kick without it being too hot. And I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. This will give it beautiful color and of course the flavor. I'm going to bring it all in together and continue whisking until the cheese is all melted nice and smooth. So I just drained my meatloaf and my cheesy mixture is ready. So now I'm going to get all the pasta and I'm going to put it right into the pot and toss it together. Look at this. Beautiful. So now I'm just going to get this a little closer and I'm going to put all the mac and cheese on top. Now I do like to pick it up just a little bit and put some of the macaroni and cheese underneath. See? And don't worry if it breaks. Now I'm going to put the rest on top. Oh, and you want every drop. And now I'm gonna add a little more cheese on top. And that's good. Now I'm gonna put it back into the oven for about 15 minutes until it's real nice and bubbly and golden from the top. Very easy. This is ready and it's boiling hot. Come take a look. Look at this. Just beautiful. So now I'm just gonna let it sit here for about 5 to 8 minutes so it'll cool down a little bit and it'll be a lot easier to cut that way. Now, some of you might be wondering why I've got a bunch of rosemary around here. I've got the rosemary here because it keeps the pesky friends away. They don't like it. So what I do is I just kind of rub it around like this, and I've got tons of it all over my yard. I mean, about this high. So I just go cut some and I just lay it around here, and the pesky friends don't like it. So I'll see you in about 5 to 8 minutes. So time is up. Now it's time to serve. Mm-hmm. Oh, it smells so good. Now I'm going to be serving this with some buttered bread. Very simple, just like this. Now you can serve it with a nice cold simple salad or just like this. I think it's just a whole meal in one. Now it's time for the taste test. Mmm, so tender. Mmm, 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 mmm. Mmm, so good. Mm-mm. Mmm. Oh my gosh, this is heavenly delicious. And now some of my cold fresca. Mmm. Oh, this is comfort food at its best. So this is my delicious meatloaf, mac and cheese, all in one. Perfect casserole. If you like my recipe, give me a thumbs up, send me a comment, and tell me what you think. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you.